Welcome, dear viewers. Today, we're diving into the delightful world of baking cookies. The mere mention of cookies brings a smile to our faces, doesn't it? Imagine the sweet aroma wafting through your home as you bake your very own batch. From the classic chocolate chip to the delightful oatmeal raisin, the possibilities are as endless as they are delicious. Baking cookies at home is more than just a culinary adventure, it's a heartwarming experience. So gear up as we take you through a simple yet delicious cookie recipe. Before we start, ensure to gather all the necessary ingredients. Our cookie venture begins with the basics. We'll need flour, the foundation for our cookie structure. Next, sugar, both granulated and brown, to sweeten things up and add that delightful crunch. Then comes butter for that rich melt-in-your-mouth quality we all love in a good cookie. We will also need eggs, the binding agents that keep everything together. Don't forget the baking soda, our leavening agent. It's what gives our cookies their delectable lift. And last, but certainly not least, the star of the show, chocolate chips, because, well, it wouldn't be a chocolate chip cookie without them, now would it? Each ingredient plays a vital role in the cookie's taste and texture. The right quantities will strike the perfect balance, making each bite a little piece of heaven. With all our ingredients at hand, we're ready to embark on our baking journey. Now, it's time to create our cookie dough. This is where the magic happens, where we transform simple ingredients into a delightful blend that will soon become our delicious cookies. Let's start with the butter and sugar. When it comes to creaming these two together, we're looking for a light and fluffy mixture, almost like a cloud. Take your softened butter and combine it with your sugar. Use an electric mixer if you have one, but a good old wooden spoon and a bit of elbow grease will do the job just fine. The idea here is to incorporate as much air as possible into our mixture. This will give our cookies their irresistible lightness and delicate crumb. Next, let's add the eggs. Crack them in one at a time, making sure to fully incorporate each egg before adding the next. This ensures a smooth, even mixture that will make our cookies just the right texture. Now, it's time to bring in our dry ingredients. We've got our flour, baking powder, and a pinch of salt, all sifted together to ensure there are no lumps. But here's the key. We're going to add these ingredients gradually. Pour in a bit, mix it through, then add a bit more. This method helps us avoid overmixing the dough, which could lead to tough cookies. And let's be honest, nobody wants a tough cookie. As you fold in the dry ingredients, you'll start to see your dough come together. It should be soft and pliable, but not sticky. If it sticks to your hands or the side of the bowl, add a touch more flour. But be careful not to add too much. A delicate balance is needed here to achieve cookie perfection. Once your dough is ready, it should be soft but not sticky. Now, we're ready for the next step. It's time to shape our cookies and prepare them for the oven. But that's a story for our next scene. Until then, happy dough making. Now comes the fun part, shaping our cookies and getting them ready for the oven. A spoon or cookie scoop is your best friend here. Using one of these tools ensures each cookie is the same size, which is crucial for even baking. You'll want to scoop out the dough, then roll it between your palms to create a smooth ball. This step is where you can let your creativity shine. You can shape your cookies into hearts, stars, or even spell out names or fun words. It's your kitchen, your rules. Once you've shaped your cookies, it's time to place them on the baking sheet. But wait, you can't just drop them anywhere. You need to give each cookie enough room to spread out as it bakes. So make sure to leave about 2 inches of space between each cookie. This step might seem small, but it's the difference between individual cookies and one giant cookie blob. And while a cookie blob might sound fun, trust us, it's a lot harder to share. Now let's talk about the baking process. You've put in the work to shape your cookies and arrange them perfectly on the baking sheet, and now it's time to let the oven do its thing. The optimal oven temperature for most cookies is around 375 degrees Fahrenheit. This temperature allows the cookies to bake evenly without burning. As for the baking time, it can vary depending on the size of your cookies and your specific oven. However, a good rule of thumb is to bake your cookies for about 10 to 12 minutes. You'll know they're done when they're golden brown and your kitchen is filled with the irresistible aroma of freshly baked cookies. And there you have it. Your cookies are shaped, baked, and ready to make your taste buds dance with joy. After 10 to 12 minutes in the oven, your cookies should be golden brown and smell heavenly. Now, who's ready for some milk? Finally, it's time to let our cookies cool, and then serve them. Cooling cookies is just as important as baking them. Why, you ask? Well, the magic of cookie baking continues even after they're out of the oven. When we allow them to cool, they set properly, ensuring a perfect texture, crispy on the outside, gooey on the inside. Not to mention, it prevents them from becoming a soggy mess. And the best place for our cookies to cool? A wire rack. Its open structure allows air to circulate around the cookies, helping them to cool evenly. Just slide them off the baking sheet using a spatula and let them rest. Now, onto the best part, serving. There's nothing like biting into a freshly baked cookie, but pairing them with a cold glass of milk or a steaming cup of coffee, that's a match made in heaven. It enhances the flavor, making the experience even more delightful. Storing cookies is a breeze. Airtight containers are your best bet. They keep your cookies fresh and delicious for days. If you want to keep them for longer, you can even freeze them. Just remember, baking cookies isn't just about the recipe. It's about the joy it brings, the smiles it spreads. And there you have it. Delicious homemade cookies. Enjoy these sweet treats with your loved ones. Baking cookies at home is a delightful and rewarding experience. It's as simple as gathering your ingredients, preparing the dough, shaping, and baking your cookies to perfection. The final step, enjoying the fruits of your labor and sharing the joy of homemade cookies with your loved ones. We encourage you to don your aprons, roll up your sleeves, and immerse yourself in the delightful craft of cookie baking. Share your experiences and spread the sweetness. Thank you for joining us in this baking adventure. Until next time, happy baking!